Hey everybody, Happy New Year! Dylan Bowman here from Freetrail, and in the first 10 days of 2024, we're going to be rolling out our Trail Runner of the Year award. This is our favorite time of year to celebrate all the great athletes and performances that made 2023 a year to remember in trail running, and this year we're super happy to have partnered with Ketone IQ to help bring the award to life. Make sure you check this product out. Super cutting edge, futuristic endurance sport nutrition product, ketone supplement, guaranteed to give you better focus and help you rip out on the trails. We have exclusive discount code that you can take advantage of here, hvmn.com/freetrail30. That link is also in the description here on YouTube. Enjoy these interviews with some of the best athletes in the world, and thanks for helping us celebrate 2023.
Anthony Costales, welcome back to the program, buddy. Good to see you. Congratulations, 10th place Trail Runner of the Year. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Thanks, Debo, for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So at least a trio of spectacular podiums this year. Maybe before we get into the details and have you reminisce for our listening audience here, how are you feeling about the season in context here as we approach the end of the year?
I mean, yeah, it was one of those things where 2021 was okay. It was like a solid year, but it's cool or not 2021, sorry, 2022. And, yeah, I think it's a really cool spot I'm in on having a good season. And it's cool to kind of jump ship back to running good again, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, this is your best season sort of as a trail athlete. Does it feel that way to you now? Like, as you look back at the season that was, does it feel like this was the year that Anthony Costales had his breakthrough?
I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of breakthrough races. I was telling this someone the other day, like, I just felt like everyone I kind of did really well this year was very high media attention, pretty good competition. So it kind of just shows a lot more than maybe just a really good performance that is at maybe a little bit more low key of an event.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, congratulations. So let's start talking about those things in particular, in specific, and maybe let's start with the most recent running because it's probably freshest in your memory. Your awesome third place finish to close the season at Ultra Trail Cape Town just a couple of weeks ago. Brought home a solid third place. Why don't you just tell the listeners about it? How did it feel, and how did the race put an exclamation point on the season?
Man, Cape Town, that's the place to go if anybody's looking for some overseas race. Like, I can't say there's so many good things we could say about it. It's such a long list. Starting with Stu, the race director, just is really just like between community driven and like when he talks about really trying to make it a world-class race for the elites, he's making it happen, not just asking for it to happen. And yeah, it was just such a cool experience. Amazing scenery throughout the whole day. I mean, the hardest thing was just getting my butt kicked by Dimitri, but in a good way. It was fun being right behind my buddy Caleb Olson, who snagged up second place as well.
So, do you feel good about the performance? Was it solid, or did you feel like you left them on the table?
It was solid. I started to have a pretty hard day. Like, Cape Town's rough. It's like
Black Canyon in that, like, you look at the course profile and you're like, this can't be that tough. And then I think it just chews people up.
Yeah, I think we all know it's like technical and there's like some scrambling parts, and the scrambling parts isn't the hard part of the race. It's like its technicality just never stops. There's never like, oh sweet, we got like 5 miles to just like smooth run, and it's like you're always needing to be focused on like a little bit of technical terrain like the whole day. And yeah, it's just a hard race in general. And yeah, it was definitely, I think, like not the worst out of the three races you're going to mention, but it was still a good performance and kind of gutted through like a hard day from pretty early on out.
Yeah. You just mentioned your buddy Caleb. Maybe say a few words about him, or more generally what you guys have going on in Salt Lake City right now, because it feels like you guys are each pushing each other to new heights in your careers.
Yeah, Caleb's a super good guy. Yeah, we trained like a fair amount together, and before this race, we actually got on like quite a few bigger runs together. Yeah, he's just starting to break out a little bit more himself. Again, I think like he's been a pretty good runner for a while, but he's hitting some on a little bit more media coverage.
Yeah.
Big races like Grindstone and Lake Sonoma this past year. And I was like just really excited at the end. Like you kind of watch like the clip of me coming into finish. Like it wasn't so much because of my performance, it was because of his. I was like, he nailed it at the world stage. Like no one's gonna not think he's like a big player now. And I was just stoked for him.
Yeah. I don't think I saw the clip, but I saw a couple of photographs of you guys in a big embrace. And it was like, that's what it's all about, man. Teamwork, being happy for your buddy, even when he beats you by a little bit down there in Cape Town.
Right.
So it's awesome stuff. And yeah, I want to get Caleb on the show here soon, but awesome season from him too. All right. So let's rewind the clock, dude, because this is the time of year when people just like their short-term memory kicks in. They can't quite remember what happened at Black Canyon, but dude, you absolutely slayed it there. One of the performances of the year, at least in North America, for sure. And hilariously and iconically, you did it wearing a Chico State singlet from your college days as an unsponsored runner. With some perspective, how are you feeling about that performance?
I mean, yeah, that was one of those days that like everything was just kind of clicking. You kind of know it, you know the course already. Everything that's in your mind on how you want things to go is going that way, going in your favor. And yeah, just took advantage of it that day. Just had a great one out there with Tom where he just never let up and kind of made me run scared all the way to the finish. And yeah, it was just a really special day just being out there. And yeah, the no sponsor thing was kind of funny. I think everybody acted like I was not a sponsored athlete for like ever, but it was like really I was only not sponsored for about a month,
Hey,
about
right,
1 or 2 months. So it was kind of funny how that part blew up. I think the Chico State jersey, yeah, definitely just made it that more noticeable than anything.
It was so funny, dude. And it's funny mostly because those of us who know you and know your prowess and know your capabilities know that, you know, on any given day, you can beat any person in the world. And so, you know, to have you at one of North America's biggest races wearing a Chico State track singlet was kind of funny, but we'll get around to coming around to talking about, you know, how that changed later on in the season. But before we get to it, the important event that happened in between your re-sponsorship in that Black Canyon race was an amazing podium performance at Western States. 15:09, man, you absolutely slayed it. I think that's like 12th or 13th fastest time in the history of the race. And I remember at the track the day after the race, you told me something like, you know, I'm just happy. Like it makes me feel that I, you know, no matter the distance, no matter the type of race, I can finish on the podium. So maybe if there's anything you want to expand on there, anything you want to say about finishing on the podium at Western States, I'm sure you view that as one of the highlights, not only of the season, but of your career.
Yeah, I think like I guess like what I was saying to you that day was kind of like what I was saying in the beginning of this episode was, you know, I feel like I've done some pretty good races or pretty raw performances, but it just doesn't quite get the attention. And I feel like it could have if it was at like a race like Western. So yeah, I was pretty like fortunate to go to Western the first time and kind of hit it pretty well because as we all know, that's not the case for most people. Sometimes it's a little bit more of a learning experience. And yeah, there was so many ups and downs. I didn't know if it was going to go as well it was about halfway through. And by about, I don't know, mile 90, I kind of had a good feeling. Third was in the bag. And yeah, it was just a big day out there with a bunch of college friends, college coach, my wife, family. And yeah, it was it lived up to all the hype that Western is that we hear about.
So did it feel like you proved something to yourself or like you proved something more broadly, right? Because to me, my interpretation was it was like you feeling like to yourself, like, man, yeah, I can do this, you know, like there's no reason why I shouldn't put everything into it, you know?
Honestly, it was more broadly. I kind of felt like I could get that performance like maybe some years ago. And maybe after Canyons 2021, I felt like that could have happened. I also could have blew up like so many other people did that day.
Mhm.
But I didn't get that chance. I got injured, and that happened a lot of times. Like I like had a chance at some of these like bigger races. Injuries has gotten in front of me, probably from like 2019 to 2021. So it was just finally nice to get to a big stage one, feeling fresh, feeling like I'm ready to go, having nothing in the back of my mind, like, oh, something feels tweaked out. Like, how's this really going to go?
Yeah.
And being able to perform on the day.
Awesome. So you also told me there at the track that you had engaged an agent, and I think he had been working on your behalf already at that point. There were some irons
Mhm.
in the fire, but it took a while until the announcement came that you had signed with Nike Trail. So maybe talk about that process and what about, this opportunity felt like it was the right next step for your career?
Yeah, Nike. It took a while. It was like more like contract signing thing took quite a bit. Like I think like after Western, like the deal was done like probably within like 30 days of there. It's just there was a bunch of just legal department stuff like that that just kind of just kept going and going and going. Which it wasn't too big of a deal. My next big race wasn't for a while, anyways. Um, but no, we were in talks a little. Like Lucy and I, my athlete manager at Nike. We actually talked a little bit before Black Canyon. She showed a little bit of interest. Like we didn't have anything formal, but it was cool that there was already interest before kind of that performance even happened. And then kind of kept quiet. And I was kind of at the point where around, I'd say March, April, where I kind of didn't want a sponsorship going into Western. Like I was like, it just didn't feel right. Like switching into something right into a big event. It almost felt like I'd be getting bought for it.
Yep.
And I really want to get bought for the big race. Like I'd rather get bought for the performance after the race is like kind of what it
I
was.
can get behind that philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just kind of how I felt during that process. And the agent part, Josh Cox was my agent, and just the way he goes about it. I talked to 2 agents, and the way he kind of proposed how he works, I just kind of like this philosophy. And it was just nice, like that whole time from Black Canyon all the way till I got signed. Like I'd have questions and ask him, but I wasn't ever really stressed about the whole process.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about following up on emails of athlete managers that told me something and then something didn't follow through over and over, which is kind of a common occurrence.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool just having it all in his hands and being able to just train, be with my family, and concentrate on work as well.
It strikes me as a really mature thing to do. Your teacher, your dad, your family man, your great athlete. It's like, let the professional take care of the negotiation. Like, if he's good at his job, it'll be worth it for me too. So it's an interesting
Yeah.
thing to think about.
Yeah, I'm just like not a great negotiator. And I don't know, I feel like you and I are a little bit in the same boat. Like we've been around this stuff so long that like you and I know what it feels like. Like free shoes was like the thing, like, 10 years ago.
Sure was, yeah.
And like, unless like you were like the top premier person in the world, not so much trail, but like even roads, like it wasn't more than just shoes and maybe like a little bit of travel. And things have evolved so much nowadays. Like I didn't really understand like really what I was even worth. That's
Yeah.
why I kind of wanted to get a professional in there as well.
Interesting. So then bringing things full circle, you just mentioned that you knew you didn't have another big race for a little while after Western States. And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, to what extent waiting until December to race again was intentional at Ultra Trail Cape Town, or did you pull something out in between? How did that play out?
It was pretty intentional because I mean, Nike wasn't guaranteed until, like probably mid-September. So honestly, I just couldn't like financially just want to keep
Yep.
going to more and more big races. As awesome as Chamonix could
Yeah.
maybe sound this year, like there's a financial cost of all this.
Yeah.
And Ultra Trail Cape Town and CIM was kind of the idea. I didn't know which one at the time. And then after just a little bit of time, it just kind of seemed like Cape Town. I had the chance of it once Nike started to develop, was funded for it. My Thanksgiving break lined up with it. It just seemed like the right move to make.
Yeah.
The only thing I did pull out of was I think what was
Mammoth.
it? No, oh, I did pull it. So Mammoth was I did have a little knee thing after injury or after Western, and it wasn't going away
Yeah.
in time. So I pulled out of that. I was ready to go for the other one in California, Big Bear, the Kodiak.
Yeah.
I was going to do the Kodiak 50K just for fun. I just knew it was a stacked race. Everybody was trying to get their like OCC
Their
qualifiers.
qualification. Yeah.
I didn't really care about that at all. I just saw I just knew a good list was there, so I was like, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And again, it was on my fall break, but I actually took a big fall that week leading into it, and messed up my wrist, and my knee was kind of flared up, so I just kind of decided to step back and pull the plug on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was just curious about that. I mean, it felt to me just looking at your season with that opening 50K at Arches and then that huge course record W at Black Canyon and the podium at Western States, he deserved a little rest. And it struck me as potentially a smart, mature move to then take a little bit of a break before teeing up another one at the end of the year. And
yeah, I didn't want to go to Mammoth Trail Fest, not 100%.
Yeah,
I didn't
no
need.
way.
I don't need no Remy Bonet.
You don't need homopod that much, huh?
Yeah, I don't need it that much.
So maybe starting to wind down here, to the extent you feel comfortable sharing any goals that you have for 2024. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of new Anthony Costales fans out there after such an amazing season. Where can people expect to see you racing next year?
I'm going to do a few races I've done before. I'm going to try to do a way too cool Chuckanut 50K double, which they're 2 weeks apart, two similar races, and they're just pretty fun. So I'm going to, as long as I'm feeling okay after way too cool, I'm going to try to double back on Chuckanut 2 weeks later, which are two great races. And then I'm going to try to go out to Lake Sonoma, 50 miler. I've had that one in plans for quite a while, and it's thought about or wasn't going to do it, been injured, COVID, all types of stuff. It's kind of fortunate this year I don't need any kind of qualification to get into a race I want to get into. So kind of taking advantage of that part right now. And then, after Lake Sonoma, signed up for Western States again. Didn't think I was going to do that, but just a little tickle in me, just like felt like I got a little bit of it wrong and I want to get it right. So gonna go try it one more time. And the last thing, if everything's going well after that, like CCC is kind of the other idea I'm kind of floating towards the end of the year.
Makes a lot of sense. What an awesome calendar. I've been asking everybody the same closing question here, Anthony, and that is just to give kudos or some sort of, recognition to an individual in your life who exists behind the scenes, who has a significant impact on the successes that you experience this year.
I always say it. It's my wife, Katie. She kind of helps me do this day in and day out. She's kind of that crew captain as well. And she does a great job just keeping me calm through the whole race and getting me through. Has got me through every single race she's ever helped me out with. So yeah, she's the one behind the scenes, making me a little bit better always, making sure I don't get sick always by feeding me vitamins and good foods and things I don't want to eat. So she's that person behind the scenes that makes the big difference.
Does Piper understand that Dad's a big rock star now?
She's starting to understand finishing and stuff like that a little bit more. Yeah. Definitely more than the first time you guys saw her in 2021.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of getting funny. She'll see a finish to a race and be like, Dada win? And I'm not always. But
not always.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson, kid. Yeah. Well, Anthony, congrats on an awesome season, buddy. It's been awesome to watch your rise in the sport. It's awesome to see you get the support of Nike, and I can't wait to see what you do next year.
All right. Thanks, Ebo, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Blandine L'Hirondel, bonjour. Happy New Year. Congratulations on being number 10 Trail Runner of the Year.
Hey, hello. Happy New Year. Yes, it's in 2 days, but we can say that before. And thank you very much for. I'm very happy to be the 10th ultra trailer on the year. Thank you very much.
Yes. How are you feeling at the end of the season? Are you in off-season mode? And how are you feeling about your performances this year?
Well, I'm feeling good, better than 2 months ago because, as you know, I had an injury of in my foot, so I need to stop training during 1 month, and it's 1 month I begin again with a bicycle, and today it was my first skiing. So, well, I'm happy to have a little training. It's good for the mental health and physical health. So I'm good.
Good, good. So tell me a little bit more about your injury. The thing that I'm interested in is that you posted that Thibaut Garivier was your doctor and is in some way supporting your recovery from this injury. Thibaut Garivier, of course, another great French trail runner. So tell us about your guys' relationship and whether it's helpful to have his support in the recovery process.
Yes, Thibaut Garivier find my injury because it was a bones foot injury, and it was difficult to diagnostic it. And fortunately, Thibaut Garivier is a very good doctor, radiologist. I'm doctor too, but I am gynecologist, so it doesn't help for traumatism and sports injury. And I ever been because we are both doctors, and I ever been in a French team during championships. I know Thibaut. I appreciate it's a very great person as a doctor, but as an athlete. And yes, it's a chance for me to be very well for having advice, good advice as Thibaut. And it's yes, I think it's a chance. We have a proximity, and I can ask him a lot of things, and he's always here for answers. So it's good.
Very good. Very good. So one of the things that I think makes you unique is your range. And this season you were top 5 at Zegama and also at the podium of UTMB. I know you like to race cross country also. So I'd love to hear you talk about just the diversity of your running and where you see your strengths at this moment in time, and if that changed at all here in 2023 as you stepped up to the 100-mile distance for the first time.
Yes, I always have difficult for the choice, and I love running, but I love running fast, and I love running longer. So of the beginning of the years, the best training I think to work on the velocity, the speed. It's a great training for all the seasons. So I did training for being faster, and I began with the cross country. It was a success, so I was very happy. And after Zegama, it was a great and amazing race. And during the season, I did some longer training and longer race as a UTMB, and I had a lot of pleasure and on ultra trail too. So it's difficult for me to choice, and I think it's my strength, but it's not always. Better, and as you know, the athlete life, it's not always on the top, and unfortunately, because I run a lot this year, I think I had my stress fracture, because it's a stress fracture at the end of the season because of this. So I think this year I will not prepare me. I will not doing faster and races as cross country or marathon. I think I will focus on ultra trail or European championships as 60 kilometers, and I will do this during this winter more than bicycle or skiing to preserve me a little bit.
Yeah, great. So tell us a little bit about your first 100-mile experience at UTMB. Obviously, it's the biggest, most important 100-mile race in the world, and you finished third place in your first try. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a real surprise. When I began it, I didn't have expected. I didn't have goals. I just would like to finish it. And the third place was yes, a real surprise. And another surprise, it's I liked it. I didn't before racing. I didn't knew if I like ultra trail. It's particular. Everybody told me you will have up and down, and the down could be very very long. So you must be prepared. And for me, it was I love the down. I love the up. I had pleasure, not during all the 24 hours and 20 minutes, but I love this experience. So yes,
that's so funny. So funny that you were just surprised that you loved it, surprised that you enjoyed it. And of course, it's not always enjoyable. Not every kilometer is going to be positive, but in totality, what a powerful experience and what a great performance for you. You're one of very few people now who've been on the finals or on the podium of all three of the UTMB finals. Of course, you've won OCC, CCC. Now you were third at UTMB. Has that been a goal for you?
Well, no, it wasn't a goal. Yes, the better things was to win OCC and TCC, and after win UTMB. No, it's a joke, because winning UTMB is very, very difficult, but it wasn't a goal. But as I said, a very great surprise, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, amazing. So we can start winding down now, Blandine, but I'd love to hear what your goals are for the future. You said that you may focus on the European Championships and maybe do mostly longer races next year. What does your season look like?
Yeah, so for doing to the European Championships, I need to be selectioned on the team, on the French team. So before it, I need to do the national championships, the French championships, the 7th of April. And if I am on the two first, I can be part of the French team for the European Championships. And as I said, as I love the UTMB, and I have the chance to be selected thanks to my third place. I would like to do UTMB next year.
Okay. So maybe you'll be one of the small group of people who wins all three, but that will be determined at a later date. Blandine, thank you so much for your time and congratulations. I've been asking everybody the same closing question, and that is just to give thanks or recognition to somebody on your team who doesn't get enough credit, but who is very important to your success as an athlete.
Yes, I would like to recognize and to thanks my my boyfriend's husband. His name is Mathieu Mas-Bernard. Everybody who know me in French know him, because he's always here. Is things beginnings very very implicated in this. I think it's him. He make me discover sports because before I met him, I didn't practice sports, and him practice a lot, and I began sports thanks to him, and thanks this beginning. He's always with me, always give me advice and help me for the partner and the social media, etc. So I would like to thank him, because he don't have the great place. He's on the shadow and me on the light, and I think it's not easy every day. So thanks to him.
That is amazing. So he introduced you to sport, and now you're a world champion, and you've won OCC and CCC.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great story. Well, congratulations to you both. I know it is a team effort, but you've had an amazing career. You had another great season. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved. Good luck in the recovery from your injury, and we'll hope to see you in 2024.
And of course, I would like to thanks my team, Keep Run Women team,
Yep.
the running brand of Decathlon. It's a big group, big French group, and yes, it's a woman team, and they are always here for me. And there is a very, very good ambience, and so I would like to thank them too.
Yeah, a very strong women's team. I'm glad you brought that up. All right, Blandine. Well, again, congratulations. I hope the recovery from injury goes smoothly, and I look forward to seeing even more success in 2024.
Yeah, thank you very much.